Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Some areas across Chautauqua County recorded a foot of snow overnight amid a winter storm impacting the entire East Coast. We thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. So far, the town of Portland has recorded the highest amount of snowfall in Chautauqua County, with viewers reporting a foot of snow in some places, like Portland. In the South County, our contributor, Chautauqua Weather Today's Sean Sweatman, is reporting that around 7 inches of snow fell in Jamestown, 6.5 in Gary, around 8 in Cassadaga, 9 in Stockton, and 8 in Ellery. Other areas like Randolph lodged around 6.5 inches as well. The snow is expected to lighten up this afternoon. However, gusty winds and lake effect snow is forecasted for much of the afternoon and evening hours tonight. That's where we find Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who's standing by with the latest on this winter storm warning, Dakota, which I think most people across our region today, including myself having to work from home because of it, are aware of at this point. What are we seeing out there weather-wise?
Well, as of right now, the snow has really started to turn more lighter, but we're still going to see more snow showers as we go through the afternoon. So understand, we're not done yet. We still got some more on the way. But man, the snow coming down last night really was a pretty picture. Thanks to Russell for sending this in near UPMC Chautauqua. And people were actually enjoying this. Got a heart in the snow out there as well. Thanks to Amanda for sending this in. Brooke, she had over 11 inches of snow, close to 11 inches of snow at her location this morning. And how about a video that I got in this morning? Not from me, but another Dakota who lives here in the region sent us this video of the snow falling early this morning before sunrise. This is right near the Chautauqua River in Brooklyn Square, so you can see the snowbanks there on the river. So again, lots of snow across the region. Let's show you some of the snow totals that we got in. Dunkirk, over a foot of snow, 12.1 inches in Silver Creek, 11 inches Panama, 8.5 Sherman, Jamestown, 8.3, Randolph, 8 inches, and we're going to add more onto this as we go throughout the day. So the radar shows you the snow showers continuing across the region. Again, this is widespread snow. Everybody's getting a little bit of something, but we do have some breaks in the snow coverage now as the storm system is starting to pull up towards Nova Scotia. We're starting to see some breaks in that snow coverage, but it's still going to continue on as we go throughout the day. Winter storm warning stays in place until 10 o'clock tonight for all of Western New York, including the southern tier. The winter storm warning for Warren County expires at 7 o'clock tonight. So here's the breakdown for today, 24 to 31, and we'll pick up an additional 2 to 5 inches of snowfall today, but it will be gusty though, with north winds 10 to 20 blowing that snow around. Now we do have some lake effect on the way for tomorrow, plus more Arctic cold. We'll talk about it in detail. That Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin, back to you.
Yeah. Absolutely, Dakota. We will, of course, see you coming up in just a little bit with that info we need to know. And for many of us who woke up early Monday morning, the winter weather, it caused some travel troubles. From Chautauqua to Cattaraugus County, it seemed like everyone was digging out. Here's some video that I shot this morning before the sun came up. Folks like myself decided to maybe keep it off the roads and work from home, while others, they did venture out, including Mark Summers, who was able to make it into work commuting from Clymer to JRSC Digital in Jamestown. Summer tells us early in the morning, the roads were pretty tough, with around a foot of snow falling in his neck of the woods.
The route into Panama is always the roughest, from Clymer to North Clymer in that way. But once we get into Panama, it just seems like there's always half the snow. So we say, hey, let's get to Panama, and then we can get into it a lot easier. But they do a great job for what we travel on.
Yeah, certainly. And crews were out in full force today. We asked him if he was concerned with his afternoon and evening commute, the threat of that lake effect snow, as mentioned. He says he does plan to stick to the major routes with hopes of getting home safely. And with all of this snow and the uptick in winter fires this month, it's also important to keep an eye out on fire safety today. As WENY's Alexandra Dern reports, firefighters across New York State have a simple message to help them respond to this event: keep your fire hydrants clear.
When a big snowstorm hits, people can forget to clear out the snow around a fire hydrant. The Big Flats Fire Department told me that people tend to think it's the local government's responsibility, and it's not. Firefighter Nichols Harvey told me more.
After the snow does hit, please make sure 360 degrees around the fire hydrant is cleared off for at least 3 feet.
Harvey explained why fire hydrants are so important to firefighters.
Fire hydrants are really important to the fire service. If your house does unfortunately catch on fire, a lot of times if there's a hydrant, that'll be our main source of water.
Harvey says it's easy to notice when people forget about their fire hydrants. It is the homeowner's responsibility to clear them off, not the city's.
A lot of times, yeah, especially in the front, plows come through and pile a bunch of snow there, and it makes it a lot more difficult to clear them off.
There's more that comes to fire safety than fire hydrants after a snowstorm. Harvey explained there are several ways someone can exercise fire safety, especially during the winter months.
Always check your CO detectors and smoke alarms. If you don't have flashlights, go get flashlights. If you use candles, make sure that you blow those candles out before going to bed. And if you have to travel, just always be safe.
Harvey explains that the fire department usually gets called during a winter storm.
It's common, people do have to still go to work on, snowy days, which is unfortunate. And if you're not careful, things will happen.
Firefighters at the Big Flats Fire Department urge people to check their fire hydrants on Sunday and Monday. If they're hidden, make sure to clear them off.
All right, Alexandra, certainly important to know. Thank you. Well, today, Americans are remembering the civil rights icon, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The day celebrating his birthday will be marked all over our country with events including a wreath laying at the MLK Memorial in Washington, D.C. In King's home state of Georgia, leaders will be gathering at the church where he served as pastor. While King was born on January 15th, the day honoring him always falls on a Monday to mark it as a federal holiday. Great. Well, as WNY News Now continues, the latest as our community mourns the loss of a toddler who was killed in a fatal fire last week. And later, we're taking a look at those who braved the icy waters of Chautauqua Lake this weekend for a charitable cause. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A vigil was held on Saturday night to remember a 1-year-old boy who died in a Chautauqua County house fire last week. Those in attendance braved bitter cold temperatures to reflect on the short yet vibrant life of Watson Taylor, who died during a fire at his West Main Street home in Sherman overnight Wednesday. That vigil was not only a chance for the community to mourn, but to rally as well and support the family by dropping off donations for young Watson's brothers and sister. The Sherman Fire Department will continue to collect those donations throughout the day. A GoFundMe also set up. Watson's aunt Jennifer coordinated the vigil to not only help her family grieve his loss, but everyone in attendance as well. And the COVID-19 positivity rates across the Empire States have dramatically declined. New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced that news yesterday. She says upstate New York's caseload passes downstate. However, over 51,000 new cases were reported over the weekend. That down from a peak of 90,000 cases earlier this month.
The numbers are continuing to head down, but take it seriously. Upstate is still not out of the woods yet, but it's going to get there, and that is something we've been all looking forward to.
Now, our region, Western New York in particular, the governor says, has the highest positivity rate of all the regions across New York, clocking in at 21%. And as new COVID-19 levels are starting to flatten out here in New York, they're also going up in other parts of the country. It all pretty much depends on where you live. Just like other waves, the Omicron variant is hitting different parts of our nation at different times. As Britt Conway reports, the U.S. Surgeon General says a national peak likely won't happen for weeks.
Let me paint a picture for you of my shift. We were down 10 nurses in the emergency department. We had a few dozen patients waiting for hours at a time, and the patients just kept coming. It is so disheartening to have been through surge after surge of these patients. Normally, after a flood, you rebuild. We have never had the chance to do that, and it has only gotten worse.
COVID-19 is still spreading. Hospitals are straining, and Omicron is hitting them with a 1-2 punch. More cases, fewer staff. Some are getting COVID-19. Others are getting burnt out and leaving. But this virus isn't leaving. In some parts of the Northeast, cases have plateaued or even declined. Still,
the challenge is that the entire country is not moving at the same pace. The Omicron wave started later in other parts of the country, so we shouldn't expect a national peak in the next coming days. Next few weeks will be tough.
The CDC says the country is averaging more than 780,000 new cases a day, despite issues with testing access. But the White House is pushing to increase access. Starting Wednesday, you'll be able to request free rapid antigen tests at covidtest.gov, 4 per household. Experts say it's time to double down on what we know works.
That's why we want everyone to get vaccinated, to get boosted as soon as they can.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
All right, Britt, thank you. And in Pennsylvania news, the annual Pennsylvania Farm Show wrapped up in Harrisburg over the week. Animals and over 12,000 events and exhibits make the farm show the largest indoor agricultural exposition in the nation. Rodeos, equine showcases, and cattle competitions are always a big crowd favorite. However, there are some sweeter competitions that are popular as well.
Our biggest competition is always with the extracted honey. We have creamed honey, we have honey in a honeycomb, we have waxes, we have baked goods, we have collective exhibits.
It definitely will satisfy any sweet tooth. Honey, syrup, wine, and beer competitions are just some of the competitive food and drink events that was held this year as well. Certainly looking delicious. We thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now as we get a check of some local headlines across the region. Of course, today, a big story everyone is digging out, and we want you to help us tell that story throughout the day. Be sure to connect with us on social media at WNY News Now, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and send us your photos using the hashtag MyLocalWX. Might be working from home like me. Coming up, we have a lot more to tell you about this half hour. We're highlighting the charitable efforts of about a dozen brave residents who took the plunge into Chautauqua Lake over the weekend amid some bitter cold temperatures. But first, Dakota joins us once again right after this with a full look at everything you need to know weather-wise. Stay with us.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news. coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense weather.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't plunge into Chautauqua Lake or Lake Erie with how cold it is. Wouldn't do that. But the bigger story really is the snow here. And even northwestern Pennsylvania did not get sparred from the snow. 26 degrees right now at the Warren City Bank Skycam. And you can see some of that snow accumulation on the Hickory Street Bridge and even the riverbank there. But I'm going to tell you, the snow resorts are going to be loving all the snow that we've had. I mean, you know, as we have talked about, the early start of the season has really been kind of ho-hum. But now winter is really started to get into effect. Almost all the ski resorts reporting 10 inches of daily accumulation as of the newest ski resort report. And all the bases are looking good. And I'm going to almost guarantee you these bases are going to be going up as they start to obviously kind of groom the snow that's obviously fell from Mother Nature. So that's the good news. HG News Now Cam showed you the snow that has fallen outside our studio here in downtown Jamestown. We're at 23 as a noon hour. It's still breezy with a northwest wind to 15. The wind gust is at 22. So again, that's going to be blowing some of that snow around. The wind chill, though, still kind of bad, but not too bad at 10 degrees. So it could be worse, though. So that's the good news on that. So basically, just to recap here, winter storm warning stays in place until 10 o'clock today for all of western New York and the southern tier. The winter storm warning for Warren County expires at 7 o'clock. And the reason for that is because the snow is ultimately going to be ending from south to north. So that's the reason why they kind of expire at different times. So in terms of the impact here, snowfall still in that high category. Gusty wind, high category. Travel is going to remain a bit difficult out there, so just keep that in mind with the blowing snow. That's still going to be an issue. And obviously with the snow, the wind chill, again, not too bad, but it will be kind of chilly, so you will have to bundle up. First Defense Doppler radar in the live sweep shows you, yeah, we're still dealing with this snow, but the good news is some of this has really started to turn more lighter now, so we're not really into some of this heavier snow that we had last night. And then obviously the early part of the morning we've had some of that heavy snow. But notice where you see the darker blues in here, there is some more heavier snow starting to set back up again. So again, there will be more in the way of accumulation as we go through the day and tonight. This is all in association with this big storm system that is now kind of riding across the eastern part of New York and starting to move up towards Nova Scotia. You can see the colder sector is this western side. The warmer sector is the eastern side where you see some of the rain falling. And this is this big storm system, but it's also going to be dragging in cooler air, which is going to allow lake effect snow to set up tonight and then through tomorrow. So here's the newest run of the in-house computer model. Shows you that snow showers continue. But notice as the storm system moves out, we start to see lake effects starting to set up. And again, most computer models don't do a very good job trying to show this kind of lake effect that occurs outside of a storm system like this. So again, but there will be areas of lake effect setting up tonight and then through the day tomorrow. I do think accumulation tomorrow will be on the lighter side though. So we're not going to see as much accumulation, but understand we're still going to see more on top of what we've already had. Wednesday will start to quiet it down just a little bit before we start to see mixed rain and snow showers returning out of another disturbance dropping into the region. So here's what we're going to see through noon tomorrow. There's going to be a little bit more Tuesday night, but understand this is what we're going with. 4 to 6 inches across the highest hills, so another half a foot is going to be possible in some spots of the highest hills. 3 to 5 inches once you work out towards Cat County, 1 to 3 inches once you drop further south. Obviously, you'll see less lake effect there, so that's why you'll see the lower numbers. 16 to 22 tonight, lake effect snow sets up 1 to 3 inches, and again with that gusty wind, now the next 7 days of your life, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. You can see lake effect snow returns on Tuesday. Wednesday, mixed rain and snow showers, but look at the Arctic air return. Yeah, we're going to drop to the single digits for low temperatures Thursday night, and then Friday, yeah, how about -1 to start Saturday, but we do rebound at least a little bit, Justin, into the lower 20s.
Oh, gosh, yeah, definitely. Winter is here, Dakota. Thank you. Let's now get a live look at the road. This is Route 430 coming into the city of Jamestown just from Strunk Road. Our Sean Sweatman out there braving conditions in the Chautauqua Weather Today Storm Interceptor. And Sean's been out and about all day, and he'll continue on his trek to show you what live road conditions are. Of course, we've been sharing and relaying those feeds here on our Facebook page throughout the day. And we'll, of course, continue to keep you updated here on social media at WNY News Now. Certainly, if you're going to be going out and about later, lake effect snow definitely going to likely be a problem. Now back to the news now, and nationally, we are talking about Betty White. She was one of our golden girls, and today she would have been 100 years old. In honor of her life and legacy, consider this, the Betty White Challenge. White said her passion, what she loved the most in the world, was animals. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to donate to a local animal rescue or maybe a charity today and be like Betty, who said she actually wanted to be a zookeeper when she grew up. In a way, she did just that, becoming an animal advocate for animal welfare and conservation and a vocal supporter of accredited zoos. She worked with the Los Angeles Zoo for more than half of her life and was on its board of trustees. She also supported fundraising for a number of animal welfare organizations, and her fan club dues went straight to helping animals. And yes, Betty was more amazing than we might have realized. Here locally, the Chautauqua County Humane Society, they're getting in on the fun. Check it out at chqhumane.org. And service animals have helped people in different ways, including emotional or physical assistance, search and rescue, and even helping us in world wars. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports about a push in our nation's capital to honor these animals for their service.
When you think of Washington, D.C., you might think of the standout places like the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Memorial, and the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. And now there's a push to bring a new monument to D.C., which would honor service and working animals.
Creating a park-like setting with several clusters of animals, everything from horses to dogs to birds to marine life, all the various animals that serve us in this world.
Teresa Brandon with the National Service Animal Monument Corporation says throughout history, animals have helped people in many ways, like farming and during wartime.
People who have
All right, Rachel, thank you. And again, if you want to learn more about that nonprofit, check out our story at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, New Yorkers are honoring the victims of last Sunday's deadly apartment fire in the Bronx. The devastating fire at Twin Park's Northeast apartment building took the lives of 17 people, including 8 kids. Sunday, family, friends, and loved ones gathered to hold a funeral for 15 of those victims. Authorities believe a broken electrical space heater ignited that blaze. Nearly all of the victims were immigrants from Gambia and other Western African countries. Local Muslim leaders say their community is strong in their beliefs and despite a tremendous loss. New York's Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin said yesterday that the state will provide $2 million in assistance to those victims. Some of the mourners say they're hoping this tragedy will lead to change and make buildings in that city safer for families. Next, taking the plunge, a look at those who braved icy waters of Chautauqua Lake this past weekend. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm. And real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind, to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier.
We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Finally here today, those that were brave enough. They jumped into Chautauqua Lake over the weekend, all for a similar cause, charity for our veterans. Our Bronson Rasmussen was there and has more.
Event organizer Bradley Barmore hosted the plunge to benefit those less fortunate this winter.
When you have an opportunity to give back to the community, I recommend giving back.
The fundraiser brought in a lot of used coats, hats, gloves, and other winter essentials. The items were donated to the Jamestown's Community Helping Hand.
In turn, they're going to donate that to those that are in need locally. And then as far as the monetary proceeds, we are donating that to the Joseph Dwyer Veterans Peer-to-Peer Support Group.
The original goal for monetary donations was $2,500, but by the time people started jumping in, the amount of money raised was more than double the original target. The plunge brought out a lot of attendees, including Sheriff Quattrone, County Executive P.J. Wendell, and New York State Senator Borrello, with all of them happy to take the plunge and support this cause.
I think it's fantastic. This is to support a worthwhile cause, the Dwyer program here, which helps our veterans. All that they've done for us, the least we can do is a little bit of cold water to help them.
When asked how it felt to brave the icy waters, Executive P.J. Wendell was happy to have participated.
A little cold right now, but a lot of fun. Great cause, and I think going in the water for about 15 seconds pales in comparison to what our troops go through every day.
Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, thank you. And boy, it certainly does look cold there today. Let me tell you about it. I don't know if I could do that, Dakota, jump into the lake, especially the one guy, but he just a Speedo, it looked like? What? I don't know if I can hear you, Dakota. I think our viewers might be able to. I'm not sure if you're up. Yeah, I don't. Nevertheless, it makes you speechless. It's so cold. It makes you speechless. What are you going to do? Well, yeah, really. And luckily, though, today, at least temperature-wise, I know that we were looking at the forecast a little bit earlier on, and at least it's not frigid like it was. I mean, I'll take mid-20s over something else, which can always be kind of tough out there, but definitely the snow is something that we're looking forward to. If we have you back, maybe we can talk about what's coming.
There we go.
What's coming up, because a lot of people want to know when this snow will end.
Yeah, so let's go right to the 7-day forecast here, and we'll show you here that the snow is going to continue through the early part of tonight. Then it turns lake effect through the day on Tuesday. We'll see some mixed rain and snow showers on Wednesday. It looks like we won't get a dry day until possibly later Thursday into Friday. And even with that, look at where the temperatures go. Back into the teens with lows dipping into the single digits to even negative numbers by the weekend. Oy.
Oh. Gosh, yeah, it's just sure, and especially if you are driving on the road, you're going to want to be careful of that. Here's another look outside of our studios right now. If you missed anything we talked about, don't worry. Show's available live and on demand at WNYNewsNow.com and channel 716 on Roku. Have a great day.